Welcome to another Conversation with Bill. I'm Bill Haney with a very special guest today. Joining us is Becky Ridky, Executive Director of Michigan Senior Olympics. We'll call it MSO occasionally too. It's a leading advocate for senior health and fitness for the people of this area and the state of Michigan. For 39 years, the organization has played a major role in enhancing the well-being of countless men and women. Becky will tell us about programs, competitions, and events for seniors in our area that are carried out under the MSO banner. But it isn't just seniors who benefit from the Senior Olympics. There are messages here for people who aren't seniors, but if they maintain a decent fitness level, will someday make it to those golden years. And if they do, they will be in good enough shape to really enjoy that time of life. You know that staging an annual event with more than 1,300 participants in more than 50 competitive sports would have to be in itself a daunting challenge. But there's much more on Becky's plate than that monumental enough task, and we'll discuss that with Becky. Fortunately, she brings considerable experience and talent to that role. Becky was formerly the Health and Wellness Coordinator for the Older Persons Commission. She serves on many professional boards and commissions. She also received the Outstanding Sport and Recreation Graduate Award from the Lake Superior State University, and she earned a bachelor's degree there in sport and recreation management. Not only that, she has a master's degree in public administration from Oakland University. And Becky herself put her education into action by earning a life-saving award from the city of Rochester. Becky, the responsibilities you've taken on are not for someone who just likes to kick back and watch others do the heavy lifting. Now, that's true, I know, for anyone overseeing a nonprofit organization, and probably especially so for MSO. So I have two simple questions. One, how does MSO operate, and where does your funding come from?
Well, the Michigan Senior Olympics operates and continues to grow through the generosity of our sponsors, local businesses, donations, membership fees. The Michigan Senior Olympics has a board of directors, myself, and then just only one other part-time employee. So we are a very, very small organization, but we also have over 400 wonderful volunteers that are so generous of their time to help during the games. And we'll have volunteers from sports coordinators helping run the actual events to scorekeepers, even just people who help pass out water to the athletes as they run by. And we also do work with some organizations that have work volunteer programs, such as Blue Cross Blue Shield and Blue Care Network of Michigan, who make it available to have, this year we had over 100 of their employees come out during our games to volunteer, and that we are very, very thankful for.
That's terrific. I know that all nonprofits are pressed on having enough staff, so I know you do double and triple duty. Right. But what is overall the mission of MSO?
Yeah, so in general, our focus is on enhancing the quality of life for those over the age of 50 by providing and developing programs in physical fitness, nutrition, and just enhancing mental strength and general sports skills. We offer that 50-plus population competitive sports and a network of people with the same ideals and lifestyle. We're all about dispelling the myth of aging, as well as serving as the impetus for the age group to maintain a healthy body, mind, and spirit.
So I know it's 39 years, so you're coming up on a decade anniversary here soon, next year, in 19?
Yep.
Yeah. So it was founded then, 40 years ago almost, but was it ever connected at that time, or is it now, to a national association or organization?
Yeah, so the Michigan Senior Olympics is a 501c3 nonprofit, and like you said, we've been around for almost 40 years, and it's really come a long way from having just a handful of people participating back in 1979 at the Pontiac Silverdome, of all places, was where it started. to now we have over 1,300 participants in our games, and the games take place throughout Oakland and Macomb counties. And we are a part of the National Senior Games Association, so we do adopt their format and guidelines. And we are also the only qualifying state in Michigan for athletes to proceed to the National Senior Games and represent the state of Michigan. And then Michigan is also an open state, meaning that we can accept athletes from anywhere in the country, or anywhere even out of the country. We get a lot of athletes from Canada that'll participate. So we're pretty excited about that. And then from here, the athletes will get to go on to the National Senior Games, which will be held next year in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So it's a pretty exciting time.
And that's in June of next year, is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yep, June of 2019.
Yeah. And so you've outlived the Silver Dome, you know, so
We did.
the organization is a senior citizen compared to the Silver Dome. But how long have you yourself been involved in this, and how did you get involved in the first place?
Yeah, so I've been involved since 2011, and I guess a little bit of the background. Before that, working as the Health and Wellness Coordinator at the Older Persons Commission, or many people know it as the OPC Senior Center in Rochester. I was working with the pickleball program for Senior Olympics, and the position just kind of opened up. But even before that, because we're housed at the OPC Senior Center, that's where our headquarters are located. But even before that, I remember back in college, I actually helped with a swimming event, and it was during the Senior Olympics at Oakland University before I had even heard of the organization. And then I took a nonprofit management class, and one of our jobs was to interview someone for a nonprofit organization. And I actually did my project on the Michigan Senior Olympics, not knowing that 3 to 4 years later, I would be in that position and now serving as the executive director.
Worked out very well.
Things definitely seem to work that way. So.
And so you do then 2 sets of games, summer and winter both. And I know you're busy year-round if you do that, putting together all that and putting the other events together. But tell us a little bit about those events that feature the actual competitions.
Right. So yeah, we hold our both winter and summer games. The winter games take place in February, and we have around 10 different events, everything from billiards, bocce ball, pickleball we do in the winter as well, to some of our more winter-specific events such as cross-country skiing and actually our ice hockey tournament. One interesting thing about ice hockey this year is that this was the first year that we added an over 70 division for men's ice hockey, and we had 5 teams sign up.
Amazing.
And we had 7 in the 60 and up division. We also do women's ice hockey, which is, I believe we had 8 or 9 teams this year, all ages 50 and over. So it's pretty incredible. And then our summer games, they take place in August every year, with our main host site being Oakland University. And during the summer, we do over 27 different events, everything from track and field to cycling. I mean, there's really something for everyone.
Well, speaking of your venues in Oakland University, I was really amazed at the quality and the variety, the breadth of facilities at Oakland University. It really was an eye-opener, and it must be really a major task for you to put all of these together, to find events and to be able to put those events on at convenient locations around Southeast Michigan, is it? Or how broad a swath do you cut for choosing a venue?
Yeah, so the games used to travel around the state. They'd be in Kalamazoo or Traverse City in different locations. But for the last probably over 10 years or so, we've had it just in southeastern Michigan. And we do draw athletes from all over, but we found that since the games have been in the same location, that we've been able to get a good volunteer base, a good sponsorship base, and we're not reinventing the wheel each time we go to a new location. So the games themselves have really grown, and being very well run, strong, sports themselves.
Yeah. And you have a lot of activities. I mean, one would assume that track and field and some of the others, some of the running events. But then you have pole vault, and as you mentioned, you have men's and women's hockey. So you really do have quite a variety in that offering.
No, definitely. Yeah, we try to make sure that there's something for everyone and for every skill level as well. I mean, we have things like shuffleboard and horseshoes, and we have some non-ambulatory events like non-ambulatory bowling, which is a new thing that we've been offering as well, all the way to some of the more intense events such as our cycling competition or ice hockey, track and field. So I mean, we really try to make it so that everyone can participate regardless of their fitness level. We even actually, a new event that just got added this year is power walking. So, I mean, anyone can walk, and we like to encourage people to get out there and do that. So.
But did you mention to me earlier that you have a participant who started as a wheelchair participant and gravitated into other events? Or?
Oh yeah, we have so many athletes that have just incredible stories. You know, they may have been using a walker for years to get around, and then they decided, you know what, I'm going to try to push myself, and I'm going to do the Michigan Senior Olympics. And then, they start training and practicing, and before you know it, they're walking a little faster and a little further. So I mean, we've had people that have overcome cancer, or just so many different things that people have been through, and then they go and do the events. And we always try to tell people too that it's all about your personal best. It's not about winning a medal. I mean, yeah, sure, it's great to win a gold, silver, bronze medal, but I mean, what's most important is for you to be out there and giving it your best, and then maybe the next year you'll beat your time. And it's important to keep staying motivated.
And to have a goal. I on my 50th birthday, which was a few years ago, I ran the New York Marathon, and people were surprised that I would do it. I'd run the free press one earlier, but the way I considered it was that the marathon itself was really the reward for being in shape to run the marathon.
Right.
And I think that's the case with some of the seniors I've talked to who participated in your programs. Many of them were athletes in high school or even college when they were younger, and many of them got out of shape over the years, but they are still interested in sports and maybe been spectating it a lot from the couch, and they might think they'd be out of shape and not worthy of participating, against people who are better conditioned. But do they have to be of a certain proficiency and fitness level before they can even sign up for an event?
They don't, and that's a question that a lot of athletes will ask us each year. They wonder, do they have to qualify or have a certain time in order to do the games? But no, anyone's welcome to sign up. You don't have to have a qualifying time. You didn't have to qualify at a local game. Our games are open to anyone as long as your age is 50 and over. So anyone is welcome. Any fitness level, there's something for everyone. And the athletes are so motivating of each other. They encourage each other. It's really a wonderful atmosphere to be around.
And it's not a high bar that you have set then for people to get in. It's it sounds like it's very easy.
Yeah.
Tell us about the range of conditioning level that you do see then. Do you see people who are in terrific shape and others that you wonder if they can possibly get to the finish line? Or?
Yes, we've really seen it all. And it's funny too, because we'll have volunteers that'll come in, especially, maybe high school students, and they'll think, oh, I'm volunteering at the Senior Olympics. Like, they'll say to me, oh, it's going to be so cute. And it's like, oh, you wait and see. And I mean, geez, especially the 50 to 60 age range, I mean, they are in amazing shape. I mean, they are training and working for this year round. And I mean, and just some of the events, I mean, our triathlon, I mean, it's intense to do a triathlon. You have to be in great physical shape, but I mean, we get such a wide variety of athletes, and yes, a lot of people will have coaches and will train year round. Others they might even be doing the event for the first time just to try something new, just to have fun with it. So it's great.
What I found in the marathons was that you run it alone, of course. That's obvious that you're a sole competitor, but you don't really run it alone in another respect, which is that you get cheered on by the spectators. In New York, there were thousands of them. But even at Oakland University, in your games, you had nice turnouts of people who, and I'm sure that it helps inspire folks when they're trying to make it that last lap around the track, so that in addition to the participants, themselves, the competitors. There are other kinds of participants that are involved in your programs.
Oh, for sure, yes. We have tons of volunteers that help. I mean, even if someone can't participate, just being a spectator there is wonderful. I mean, they get out there, they, can see people their same age, getting active, and yeah, it's for sure motivating. It's wonderful.
Well, is there an easy way that people can get further information? Do you have a website that?
Yes, definitely. We encourage people to go visit our website. You'll be able to get any details and information if you go to michiganseniorolympics.org. So please come and check that out and get involved. It's never too late to get in the game.
Yet you have, in addition to the factual information, I've seen a number of the photographs.
Oh,
and
yes.
We've seen a few as we've talked here. It's pretty inspiring to see these folks, and as you point out, they're serious about it. Once they decide to get into it, it's not just, okay, I'll go out and go through the paces. You can see on the faces of the participants that they want to do as well as they can, and even if they're not going to compete for a medal, and I know you've got several medals that you folks distribute at the end of the ceremonies. But even if they're not going to compete for a medal, they're competing against themselves. They probably set a time or a golf score or some kind of a goal as they were training, and then they have a goal in mind when they do the event.
Right.
And I know that the medals are just a symbol of it's not the end all and be all, but it does symbolize the effort that somebody put in. Now, if they wanted to register for the games, and you just finished your summer games,
Yep.
but you can do that online. And then in the winter games, how do you register for that?
So we do have a registration book that goes out, so if people wanted us to mail it to them, we could do that. They would just need to call the office, or they could just go onto our website and they could get all the details and information. We accept registrations over the phone, and you don't have to be an athlete to get involved. We are always in need of volunteers, so if anyone's interested in maybe volunteering this year, checking it out, seeing what it's all about, and then maybe becoming an athlete the following year. And then also on our website, we want to encourage people too to go check out our results and records and see what people have done in the past, just to kind of give you an idea of, how it kind of works. So.
You seem to have a very broad spectrum of volunteers. First of all, a lot of them.
Yes.
It was, in my observation, there was always somebody there to help out or answer questions. And there were young people and old people and all kinds of genders, and they really were helpful in staging your events, as I observed just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now, it seems that you have worked hard to keep up with trends and tastes, like pickleball you mentioned, for example. I never heard of pickleball a few years ago. I don't know how long it's been going on, but I certainly hadn't heard of it. Some of the events, I imagine you've run since day one, the track and field. I don't know about golf, but you have billiards and you have pickleball and a lot of other unusual activities. Did this start right at the beginning with when you did the Silver Dome early on?
Yeah, there was not quite as many sports back in the beginning, but Mary Miller, she was actually the one who started the Michigan Senior Olympics and was really a pioneer in getting the Michigan Senior Olympics up and running. And we've grown so much since then into something that she can really be proud of, and we're real proud of that as well. But yeah, we've added so many different sporting events to keep up with the trends, such as disc golf, or we started doing co-ed volleyball because we saw that there was an interest. So we try to really listen to what our athletes want and what kind of feedback we get into adding new events, and like women's ice hockey we had talked about, that's new within the last few years, and power walking. So we keep trying to improve, and then in addition to that, we're always trying to improve our communication with our athletes, just to keep them well informed, and it's really growing into something fantastic.
Now, has your sponsorship participation grown at the same time, or?
Yep, yeah, everything has been growing. We're very, very excited. Our number of athletes, I believe from when I've started back in 2011 has more than doubled in like just our general number of athletes for our winter and summer games. Yeah, and our sponsorship numbers have increased, volunteers, and the whole organization is really growing into something that we are really very proud of.
And some of the things you've added, like dance sport, you say,
Yeah.
track, powerlifting, pickleball, these are things that were not conventional. I did notice you also had pole vaulting,
Yes.
even for people that are maybe perhaps not as supple as they once were. That did a month ago, I know when you used Oakland University for most but not all of the events, right? Did you have some events elsewhere?
Yeah, we did have events elsewhere. We depending on what the event is, we have specialized locations, such as we actually do cycling out at the Waterford Hills Road Racing, out on that track
yes.
where they race the cars, which is great because it's a nice enclosed area.
Yeah.
We do bocce ball at Palazzo de Bocce. We have volleyball out at Elite Sportsplex. Just we're kind of spread out depending on what the event is, but Oakland University does have such an amazing facility. I mean, they have the Olympic-sized swimming pool and the awesome,
Yes.
courts, and so we definitely love being at Oakland University.
I can imagine
It's a
you
great
would.
place.
A little bit more than we had when I was a student at the University of Michigan back in the 50s. It's a marvelous facility. It was an eye-opener for me. Well, this has been very helpful and very informative, and I hope that some of our listeners who are not yet seniors have benefited from this and can see what's in the future if they maintain at least some kind of a fitness level. And frankly, even if they don't, it'd be a good motivator to get people out and get started. I know the age range is what, 50?
Yep, 50 and over. So, and we use 5-year age groups as well for athletes. So they don't have to. We don't have a 50-year-old competing against a 100-year-old. So yeah,
Right.
they compete in the 5-year age
5-year
groups, and yep.
And then most of the events, but not all, are ones that would qualify an individual for the Albuquerque Games next June.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that gives them another goal to reach for.
For sure.
Well, this has been fascinating to talk with you about this, and it's a very important program. I hope that a number of our listeners and watchers will take advantage of the opportunity to check you out on the website. That you can call you, I presume, at the headquarters office at Michigan Senior Olympics and get further information.
Yes.
So it's been enjoyable to go through this with Becky Ridky, who is the executive director of Michigan Senior Olympics. This is an organization that has already enhanced the quality of life of thousands of seniors in our area. And Becky, one last point, I guess, is if you can do anything to dispel the myth of aging, then I think you've already done it, because it's been an inspiration for a lot of people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s that there are still activities they can get involved in that will be enjoyable and will be healthy. So thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
We really enjoyed it, and good luck to you and your many volunteers and your very small staff at Michigan Senior Olympics. And to our watchers of this conversation, I hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you again with another conversation with Bill.